Off and on the clock, in the saddle for a Tuesday edition, and we have a special show on tap. We're going to hit on some of the news, the happenings shaking up the ADP landscape, and then we are going to dig into the hot new contest on Underdog, the titular Badge Bros Brawl, all kinds of interesting strategy and wrinkles. You can draft a bunch of these in quick succession. There's the ultimate scroll the F down strategy angles. Can't wait to dig in today with John and Nez. I'm Pete. Let's do it. All right. Welcome back, everyone. We got the GMs flowing, getting into the Badge Bros streets. How are we doing, Nez and John?
Doing well. I'm very excited to talk about this with you guys. I feel like there's a lot of untapped strategy, a lot of like unearthed angles as far as the Badge Bros Brawl, GTO strategy goes. So I think I'm hopefully we don't solve this for good, but I think that like this is definitely one of the like sneaky edge filled contests in the lobby.
Was that a reference to one of Davis's Battle Royale streams in the summer? We solved Battle Royales for good. Do you remember that title? I'm pretty sure that was a title with Nerdy.
Anytime I used like something is solved, it's always Gumby. It's always a Gumby reference.
Yeah, Gumby, shout out Gumby, always working to solve something, even if it's his own Jeopardy sim he created or something.
and the goobers.
Yes. People, yeah, my shirt, I always get lots of comments and stuff on this. It is an inspo of the Vancouver, but it is the No Dunks. Our friends over there, Jay Skeets, Trey Kirby, Taz Mellis, they did some merch drops, and I had to get this one because I love supporting those guys. And it's a fire tank top there.
Dude, it's
John,
probably,
what's that?
It's probably the best basketball jersey of all time. That color scheme, that pattern on the outside. I'm a little biased, obviously, but I think it's probably my favorite jersey ever.
That era is just filled with fire jerseys in general. Yeah. We need to go back to the roots, man.
Did you guys have teal one too?
The Pistons teal one is like, that one's like so bad it's good. The Pistons teal, because I had a Grant Hill one in that but you guys just made me think of, did you guys ever have, I had the mattress cover that was just all the various NBA team logos for like a comforter, and like all those like mid 90s NBA logos were just so good.
Yeah, that was sick.
Something about that cotton that was used was so soft. I don't know what it is about that the type of cotton they use for those sheets. You can't. No one's been able to recreate it.
It's funny too, because like, so my parents, they come out, every few months or so to see April, and my dad, like every single time they're trying to clear out like all of my knickknacks and memorabilia and stuff. And so he always brings me back new stuff. And the most recent one, I actually have it right here. He brought me back some old pennants, and like, he like packs these in his luggage to drop them off. But check out this nugget.
Dude, why are all dads the same? My dad does the same exact shit for me. He brought, what the hell did he brought me like a ton of just like stuff that I don't know what to do with. Oh, that's so tough.
So this one is signed by Dikembe Mutombo right here, because we were after the game and had him sign it. Then we have, this is a deep cut. This one isn't as cool. Colorado Rapids, the MLS team there.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
This Colorado Rockies, this is when we hosted the All-Star game. And so there's all these like pins and stuff on it as well. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but thank you, Dad.
Those are actually pretty clean. You might want to hang them. There's a little vacant space right behind your head there, Pete, when you move your head. A couple banners in the rafters.
I know. I think there's some cards. There's also like a bunch of, he brought all my old like soccer trophies from like, when I was a kid, right? I'm just
surely you need those.
I wish he would just like ask me before it brings them out, because I'd just be like, Dad, you can chuck those, just like take a photo of them and whatever. But nope, had to bring those in the carry-on luggage.
You gotta love it because it's from such a good place, right? He's like, he's gonna love that I'm just like bringing these. Like, I don't even need to ask. I know he's gonna love this.
Yeah. In that same vein, my mom sent me pictures of college textbooks the other day. She's like, do you need these?
John, that's a heavy-handed like subliminal message. Like, maybe you need to hit the books, buddy.
Maybe you need to go back.
Yeah, because I certainly didn't read them the first time around. So maybe some new material. Speaking of John being out of touch, before the show, I was like, yeah, let's hit on some news and then we'll get into Bros Brawl. And John goes, what news? And I had to rattle off like 19 different news stories that have popped up over the past few days. Have you not been paying attention to the NFL news cycle, John?
Okay, maybe I was a little not as tapped in as I usually am, but I was in the drafting streets. So I did get 25 Badge Bros Brawls done this weekend. So I'm quite proud of that number. But in terms of like the actual camp adjacent news, I might be a little bit behind. But I was playing football catch up this weekend because I did some reading and whatnot. I read a little bit of JJ's guide. I read all 4,000 words that Hayden put out on the quarterback stuff, and I got the Warren Sharp guide in the other day. So I was picking through that too. So I'm not completely out of the loop, but yeah, you did catch me off guard with a couple.
I mean, I gotta go to ask Inez because I'm just starting to get really bad vibes about this Najee Harris thing. And when we got to talk Najee, you are the de facto spokesman for the Najee Hive in here. Are you starting to get worried that this is kind of suspicious?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Like, I haven't taken Najee since we got, since the FUD hit the market. I knew that it was not time to draft Najee, and from a market standpoint, right? Like, I'm drafting over 1,000 teams. I need to be conscious. I need to be price conscious. So when is the fall going to stop? I'm not sure, but I think around when I see 140 Najee, I click. But I think that you could actually see ADP 140 plus on him. It's just like, they're just being so quiet, and this is not a no news is good news situation. We need to know that he's okay, and we need to know something. We need, like, can we see a pic? Can I at least see it? Like, I'm kind of like a freak in that way. I like to see, surgeries and stuff. Can I see what the eye looks like at least? Like, we know nothing. It can't be like this can only be painted as bearish right now.
And we get like these players, right, when they have like holdout situations or they're upset, like they do their cryptic Instagram stories, or like, their cousin will like talk about it on their, IG or whatever. Like, there's always something. And it's just like, how is there across the board, other than the one statement from his agent, like there has been nothing? Like, why have they not been like, you guys are all freaking out for no reason? It just seems so weird to me how quiet it has been.
When I was searching for Najee Chargers images, because they're like crazy limited outside of the jersey swap for the cover today, you can kind of go back in the archives of Twitter and see like the initial OTAs photos. And it's this beautifully ironic, tragically ironic thing that the most recent reports on Najee in May were him switching to wearing a visor this year, and all the helmet details of him wearing a visor. And I was like, oh, that didn't age so well.
Yeah. The irony is thick there.
It's too thick.
Yeah. The funny thing too is like, it doesn't seem like Omarion Hampton is rocketing up at the same time. Like, yeah, like he's been pushed up a little bit, but like we haven't seen kind of the move up that, we can go to like the Dylan Sampson stuff, right? Like that ADP is completely fake. He's like going on my best ball breakfast streams, he was going at like 120, 117.
He is, yeah, but he's on the fast track.
He's on the fast track, but I'm like, shouldn't Omarion Hampton kind of be on that too? Like, if there is, because he was already a decent bet. Like late third, he just seems like, yeah, if you want Breece and Kyron over him, I get that for sure. But then it's like, man, he's pretty clearly the best running back pick there.
Yeah, it's kind of what we talked about last week, where it was like the resistance for him, where we already kind of like pricing him into that spot, because as soon as ETR put him at like 38 or whatever, and he started going on the right-hand side of the board, we talked about that resistance threshold of, the two guys you named in Kyron and Hall, but then also like Mike Evans and JSN, like that kind of like tier there. Can you still justify it? I mean, it's not necessarily all roses. I mean, we could paint a picture that he's getting first team reps, and that was some of the news that I was looking through, which is like great, but it's like, I don't know, even first team reps for him, like I probably still want Kyron, do I not? That's kind of where I'm at.
I think so, and I'll pat myself on the back here because like I'm getting a ton of Hampton now. Like, I think Hampton was always overpriced. and like, because I was taking Najee before the fireworks thing happened, but the fact that Hampton is not like a second round pick right now, I think I think serves me right in the past for not like hammering Hampton as often as like I maybe could have, because it was just he was expensive, and I just knew that Najee was a thorn in his side. You take Najee out of the picture, and now we're all wondering why he's not like now I'm hammering Hampton. I've taken Hampton over Brees. I'll do that.
Yeah.
And have done that. But Kyron, I think that might be a bridge too far.
Yeah, it's just hard not to get excited about like the offensive line. The Chargers offensive line is awesome. We know that they're going to want to run the ball a ton. Amari Hampton, awesome prospect. Like, it's just kind of like, I'm like, what is the hole we're poking in Amari and Hampton at this point? It's like, I got nothing. If you want to take him like after Chase Brown or alongside Chase Brown, I'm like, yeah, like go ahead, so that one is interesting there. The Rashee Rice, he's been obviously falling a ton. He's moved all the way back to, I think it was his BBM opening ADP of about 37. And I do expect him to continue to slip a little bit there. How are you guys playing the Rashee dynamic right now?
I haven't taken him since. So I didn't take him in any of my first 25 Bros Brawls. And I think I did a couple BBMs over the weekend as well. I haven't taken him yet. I'm pretty comfortable taking Worthy in that like 39, 38, 40, same as like Hampton range there, and like putting him over, firmly over now in my mind, that like kind of like Waddle and George Pickens and that sort of tier there. But I'm looking at the Best Ball Explorer right now, and you can filter by draft capital of rise and fall, and that's a really cool way to look at some of these guys, like because you guys were talking about Sampson on one side and Najee on one side, and then when you're dealing with these guys at the top end of the draft board, it's a cool way to encapsulate like how much like 3 spots at the top means versus like Sampson moving 40 at the back kind of deal. Anyways.
Yeah. I like Rice in the Bad Bros Brawl right now. Like I see him go essentially like round 11 every time. I mean, you're over halfway done with your Crutches has it. Like you're over halfway done building your team at that point. And Rice, we know Rice has a pretty nice role in the offense, so you can absolutely get by with a Rashee Rice team in the Bad Bros Brawl, because even after Rice, like you can easily patch that hole. So you got to be somewhat mindful, but every pick is a good pick pretty much in that contest.
The other day, I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh yeah. Jack Miller, from ETR had a good tweet too about Rashee, and it's kind of like a simple point, but I guess I had never like fully thought it out in the way he verbalized it. And he says, similar to how players who rise suddenly in ADP become less desirable in large field best ball contests, it tracks to me that Rashee Rice should theoretically be better than your average 5th round pick, considering around 20K BBM rosters took him way earlier. So I love that concept of better than the average 5th round pick, even though if that becomes his price, I think is a really interesting angle. In the same way, an 18th rounder who moved up into the 18th round in August, who wasn't there the whole time, is a much better bet than the 18th rounder who has been there since BBM opened in May and has like an 80% or 70% ownership. So that, like, thinking about like it's not ownership per se, but it's like pick adjusted like cost there, I think is a pretty nice way to think about the Rashee stuff.
Yeah, I think from like a mean output standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. I think in terms of like building ceiling or building optimal, it makes a little less sense. Like, because there is going to be some 5th rounder that plays 5 more games than him now, right? 4 to 6 more games than him right now, and is going to be a better pick than a 3rd round Rashee Rice would have been. So, and you're getting him in the 5th. So I see the point. I think I'm a little bit on the other side of the fence when it comes to it, though, when I'm chasing optimal.
Yeah, I think it's just like the inverse of the I agree with the optimal part, but just that you are now like I this is one of the few, like I was pretty much fully fading Rice in the 2nd, and I want to build a decent amount of Rashee teams. Just knowing that if I can squeeze in 4 picks ahead of him as opposed to just 1, like the 2nd round Rashee teams were doing, like then if he does hit, if he's the guy you need or whatever, you've supercharged those teams in a way that those other drafters haven't.
There's one more thing about it that like kind of goes overlooked that, we talk so much about back-weighted production from rookies and stuff like that. Back-weighted production from known, let's call him a known stud, like him and Addison, because you're getting the suspension, they can't get hurt in that window. So even though they're front-weighted zeros, they're more valuable at the back end because we can guarantee health, opposed to like a rookie, where if he's a zero for the beginning, we can't guarantee health in the second half. At least you can guarantee health plus production in the second half with a guy like him.
Yeah, I co-sign that little gal brain, but it's not true. I think you could also like say, well, they get off to a slower start, they haven't been playing, yada yada, but they are healthy. They're not playing football, which is a highly violent game.
Ty, I see you, brother. I think you've posted this in 3 or 4 spots. How do you feel about your eliminator draft from the 112 this morning? Yes, we were in an eliminator draft. I did that on a walk before the Swolecast. And yes, it was a very fun team. I started Achane and Genty, and then Breece Hall came back to me in the 3rd, and Devontae Adams was also there. So that was my 4-pick start. And so yes, but yes, I will continue to see you guys in the eliminator streets. Like so many people, I do get distracted by other contests like the Bros Brawl that we're going to discuss today. But like whenever I have free time, I'm like, get my eliminators in. So you will see me in those streets. Any other news topics? I know John doesn't have any to discuss because in his mind, there's no other news. But Nez, anything else before we hop into Bros Brawl talk?
I mean, I think Godwin is a pretty important discussion right now. Whether or not you were fading him or not to start the season, whether or not you think that was baked in or not, I think is meaningless because he's going to fall. We got the news nugget that he isn't participating in team activities right now. And how many people that are active in moving ADP are on Twitter? I would say a large majority. And we're now getting a circulated picture of Godwin's ankle and how it's clearly swollen, as though people like forgot that he suffered a traumatizing fractured fibula. All these things considered, man, Godwin is going to fall. Does Evans rise? I'm not entirely sure. I think Evans is at a pretty good spot right now, but I think Igbuka is about to rise because of this. So, I mean, this is, if you're just trying to predict ADP movement, I think those are the directions that all 3 of those players are going to head.
Yeah, and again, like this is, I mean, we're doing like Zapruder film, or they were on ADP chasing the Godwin thing, and it's like, yeah, the market is going to react to this. It's funny to me though, like I do think sometimes the moves work in logical tandem, right? Like Godwin drops and Igbuka moves up, but a lot of these moves, it's like one of them moves and the other doesn't in a weird way too. So I wonder, it's like, I would be more confident that Godwin's going to drop, that Igbuka is going to rise, just because it's like sometimes that part of it gets ignored. Like even with the Addison stuff, like slightly falling, it's like Hawkinson has been dropping like in a lot of my rooms. And it's like, wouldn't he be a guy you want to inch up if Addison isn't there? But like the market is a big amorphous thing and not one individual acting rationally.
Right.
The other one is the Niners stuff there, because we had the conversation last week about like Silva being all in on Pearsall, and we were going to get the pup list stuff for Ayuk, and then we got surprise Ricky Pearsall pup list as well. So I was targeting Ayuk in Bros Brawl for the same thesis as everybody else was just talking about with the Rashee, where you fill out your lineup earlier, and then I thought he was direct leverage over the other 2 who were getting drafted more frequently, and you could mask it easier in that contest. So I really liked Ayuk right now in Bros Brawl associated with that news, but yeah, I don't really know what to do with, Pearsall and Juwan Jennings.
I'm slurping Pearsall.
Yeah.
That dip is fantastic. Because this pup list, like I thought we kind of like as a community understood that this early season pup list for guys that we know are not like suffering like major injuries off of surgeries is like a nothing burger, more or less. But people, the market still reacts too harshly to stuff like that. So if Pearsall's sliding, I'm buying.
Yeah, I've been more just gobbling up Jennings. I guess I haven't seen massive discounts on Pearsall yet. Has he been like falling past the Green Bay wide receivers for you?
I've seen him like mixed in there. With those guys, I'm doing a lot of slows right now. That like I barely have time to do a fast because it's like I'm on like 20 slows at any given time. So he sometimes is there for me with those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I still like prefer the Green Bay wide receivers, but I'm definitely interested in the Pearsall discount. Like if the market treats the Pearsall pup stuff the same as the Ayuk, then like that's a buying opportunity for sure. But the Jennings is just the guy I keep coming back to over and over. It's like CMC moved, Kittle's price has gotten expensive. Like I think it's basically a non-story with Juwan Jennings, and he's my favorite click on the Niners. I just keep doing it now. It's like mid-6th at times. I'm just going to keep hammering it. Love him in the eliminator with that week 14. It's just like, man, it's hard for me to get off him right now. All right. Should we talk some Badge Bros Brawl here, guys?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, set the stage here. I'll get the contest card up on the screen here, but for people who aren't familiar with the structure of this contest, let them know what we're looking at here, in addition to a 100K top prize.
Yeah, 500K total. Amazing to have our names associated with that. Fast drafts only. 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, and then a 375 final. So half the size of BBM, despite the contest being 1/12-ish the size of BBM there. The final is still reflected as half of the BBM final. So truly a week 17, all that matters with an asterisk. Addition of min cash payout this year, so some money back because we are 150 max instead of the 50 last year at the $10 price point. So wanted to make sure people it wasn't a bankroll bleeder for the people, that you could comfortably get in here, take some shots at it, and still recoup some of your funds. Tons of different strategies implemented. The room really governs and dictates your strategy, in my estimation. We did 4 quirky different style builds on our first iteration of the show there and just got crazy with it. I have done even crazier ones now since. There is a lot of gal braining to go down here with the leverage in the scrolls and the ability to prioritize certain positions because the ADP is not built for this contest. So we can have some VORP conversations around it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, as far as like from a structure standpoint, I love that it's the like not like how easy it is to get to the finals, but like to win 100K, to have that chance to win 100K. It's 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10 for quarterfinals, semifinals for like the puppies, and then it's 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5 here. So just like the opportunity to be able to get to the finals and compete for that 100K is it's pretty sick.
Yeah, and so how this plays out, right, with only half of the normal amount of participants, is on the surface, it feels like everyone can build a super team, right? That's kind of what it's like. You don't have to be dealing with Aronde Gatson, although I know Nez likes to deal with him in this contest. You can be getting really high leverage selections that are still really, really good players here. So do you guys want to talk through kind of how the scroll the F down element plays into this contest? Because it's not a huge part of our 18 round stuff. We talk about it, but it's really hard for some of those players to actually, matter through that lens until, August and we get new guys on the scene or whatever.
Yeah, you're kind of inventing narratives in BBM for why you think someone would be a leverage piece, whereas in this contest, it mirrors that of our daily slates where you can actually be like, no, this player is definitively leverage because he's going undrafted. I think it's easiest to exemplify with the quarterbacks, where like quarterbacks who are not getting drafted, but their pass catchers go every time. So I think about guys like Drake London. I think about Ladd. I think about that sort of thing. So tacking on a third quarterback that's skinny stacked with that, where you still have an elite one who is going to score you enough points over the course of the season to push you through. But then come week 17, you are the guy who has Michael Penix or Justin Herbert in those two examples that I gave there. There's also more leverage with the quality of player at the back end of drafts because the handcuffs that you are mixing in are the truly premium of the handcuff variety here. And they have, direct leverage over the guys who get drafted in the early portion of the thing. Like in BBM, if CMC goes down, well, Isaac Brando's going to be drafted every single time. Well, in this contest, he's probably going to be drafted 5%, 6%, something like that. So it does open up the paths to super teamdom being built in many different ways.
Yeah. And have you guys thought about, so what, there's 108 players drafted in these. Have you guys thought about like the cutoff for like where, like who starts to be like the scroll down players for you? Because it's the same ADP as BBM, right? This contest doesn't have a separate ADP. So it's almost kind of like our 6-person BR versus like the Dog Bowl BR is like far as what that ADP actually means in this contest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and also to be clear, this doesn't affect overall ADP as well. Okay. So yeah, I had a thought, and then that was like a pointed question. So like the point being like how does ADP like affect the decision making?
Well, yeah, because this whole idea of like, okay, so the point I'm trying to get at is in BBM, like often the difference in like those 16th through 18th round picks and undrafted guys, there can be a pretty big difference, right? Where a lot of the non guys are like not viably drafted players. In this one, after pick 108, like you can draft some really good players who are going to project for a lot, or not that much different than say a top 100 pick, but at a fraction of the ownership. That's kind of what I was driving at.
Okay. Yeah. I do think that like the kind of overarching is sort of like a VORP contest, and definitely kind of using some sort of like game theory when you are drafting, depending on how like the first half of your team goes. So like if you're not drafting a lot of running backs early, I think you need to think about like who really has the chance of like hitting like the ultimate ceiling, and is it really those guys in committees that are just kind of like not good starting running backs but are available at the end of drafts, or are you better off like getting guys that score points, and then when you're at those back ends, like drafting the handcuffs, drafting those guys that if their ultimate like ceilings hit, they can be a top 5 projected running back week in week out in those given scenarios, is something I think about. And additionally, in terms of who is like drafted versus undrafted, tight ends, I think, are just like the ultimate scroll down picks in this draft. Like the VORP on tight ends is like, I mean, I don't even know if you could put a proper figure on it. If you can, it's definitely not significant versus the leverage you get by taking a guy that isn't drafted as much. I mean, to me, that's just like a no-brainer scrolling down at tight end late.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely doing some skinny stack scroll down with my like second or third tight end, but I was a little bit more prioritized the high ceiling, high floor guys. I was doing a lot more of the elite tight end build and taking one of those top 3s a lot, to be honest. And that's kind of how I started. So maybe I got to start experimenting with like tight end 13, 15, and 21 on a roster or something like that, and mess around. Pete, to directly answer the question where I think the cutoff for like the draft percentage and stuff, it's 108, like obviously as you alluded to, total picks, but most teams are taking 2 and or 3 at the onesies. Right. So 5 or 6 in that regard. I think Josh Downs and Tony Pollard are kind of like the end of 95% drafted when it comes to the flex positions. So if people are trying to look and get a little creative beyond that, I think like Jordan Mason, for instance, would be like 68% drafted in this contest. I think Michael Pittman and Cooper Kupp would be in like the 40s. And then I think there's obviously isolated players that scroll down even further, like M. Wald's alluding to, like a guy like Tootin. We've noticed he goes a lot more in this contest than like the tier between him and the Tony Pollard tier. So guys are really having like isolated targets at the back end. Like I never see Jaylen Warren get drafted. I rarely see Mason get drafted. I rarely see J.K. Dobbins get drafted, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah. Tajay Spears once in a blue moon, but basically never. So there's definitely certain targets who are getting overlooked right now in lieu of like kind of like fun, sexier ceiling profiles like Tootin, for instance.
And then, so to then kind of circle back onto what that means for quarterback and tight end, if 2 to 3 are getting drafted in their 6 teams, like even if we say what at like 6 times 2.5 there, so we're talking like through 15, QB 15 and tight end 15, you're probably looking at kind of like where that 100% starts to really tail off if you're looking for a scroll down onesie.
Yeah, I would kind of benchmark it at that. People are a little more liberal with the quarterback scrolls. Like you see Tua go, you see Penix go, you see Herbert go, you see Love backstack. It's not like super popular, but I think it's like intelligent to do with your last 3 picks. You can do like Kraft, one of the wide receivers, and Love. So that one's a pretty like quote unquote common one. But then the cutoff at like Tua to the rest of the guys after that, I mean, I would put at less than 5% for like Stafford, Young, Ward, etc.
And it's this dynamic plays out in the BRs too, right? Where it's like you get a more diversity of ownership at the onesies, and yet it's also harder for the onesies to really separate and matter. Whereas, like, say in your Tajay Spears example, if Pollard gets hurt and you get 17 games of Spears as the bell cow back, like he's going to be an uber smash as a unique piece where it's like, yeah, I like Cam Ward, but even if he hits, is he separating from the top 6 to 8 QBs who are going to be hitting everyone's lineup, week after week?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. But that I pretty much align with what John is saying there. Like that's pretty much how my early drafts have led me toward. Are those type of players, and the Jordan Love backstack I think is just so much fun to pull off. If I take London, I'll save a QB spot for Penix. Guys like that I think potentially a skinny stack in the playoffs, like vaulting me over the field.
Nice. Well, and that's what's so fun about the structure too of it being the week 17 is all that matters stuff. It's like, could you start to entertain some of these super late, even quarterback, like, a Jackson Dart who doesn't even always get drafted? Maybe this is too galaxy brain, but if the idea of like, he's your third quarterback and he has all this rushing juice, and maybe we can split hairs about whether he actually has the upside to do that. But it's like the week 17 element in 375 teams allows you to take some pretty aggressive swings with your last couple picks.
Yeah, I just was gonna ask Nez where's the furthest you've scrolled to at like each position. I think it'd be a really fun exercise just in general because like quarterback, like I've done some Anthony Richardson for sure, just because we got good news about the shoulder stuff, and he's a guy that we've seen week to week ceiling and break slates before, and he's QB 29 drafted less than 5% of the time. So that was one that kind of stuck out to me, but like across the positions, like where's the furthest you guys have scrolled or theoretically would scroll?
I took Keon Coleman once.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I did that. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Did you get boxed out of was it an Allen team or just randomly?
It was a Hurts team. So I did it with the week 17 stacking. And took Keon Coleman for like a unique scroll. And I did the same thing with Hurts with Kincaid as well, where I scrolled to Kincaid obviously for a week 17 stack. I love the scroll downs for week 17 stacks with my last 3 picks if I have the ability to get there. Just because it's 375 people contest. That's a lot of people to beat. I think at that point you do want to kind of hedge toward correlation, especially when the rest of your lineup should be sick as hell and hopefully getting you there in the first place.
What do you guys think about stacking and correlation as it pertains to a smaller, tighter player pool? Does it make you want to, relative to BBM and 200 plus players getting drafted, does it make you want to stack more or stack less in this contest?
For the entirety of the contest, I want to stack more. For the isolated week 17, I want to stack less, because like you fall into like the same patterns because they're so easily obtainable. So I kind of like the ideas of just like isolated skinny stacks or contrarian skinny stacks alongside stacks that do not have the quarterback involved. So if I start like HN and Hill, not doing it to a team and stacking somewhere else with a contrarian scroll down, like making it a love skinny to go with those two or something, just so you don't fall into like identical pattern matching that the field does.
Yeah, and for me, it's like max 2, just because you're trying to thread a needle and you have such a sick super team. It's like, is a triple stack going to be what you need in the playoff weeks, or are you better off like limiting it to a double and trying to thread needles with those other picks, as opposed to like, because it's just diminishing returns in this contest like much quicker, I think, than in BBM.
I agree. And again, not to always keep bringing it back to the dailies, but to me, it maps a little bit more with how we think about the BRs, right? Because that's a really tight player pool, only 36 drafted, and it forces you to hit the nuts a little bit more. But because this still has the pod dynamics, the team level correlation and that ping ponging effect could be really powerful in a way where it's like, I kind of like the idea of quarterback, running back, single pass catcher, where you're getting the correlation benefits of like hitting on an undervalued team or a team that smashes, but then knowing like it's most likely going to be either the running game or the passing game that gets home, as opposed to like a mega passing stack or whatever.
I like doing that with the Eagles a lot. It's really easy to get all the, like if you start with Saquon, like I love pairing like the key piece of the Eagles. They're just such a concentrated team. And to me, it's so binary. It's like Saquon's breaking a slate, or Hurts and company, or Hurts himself is breaking a slate. And just to like have that one giant bet and knowing that it's like one or the other, I think is a lot of fun. They're going to probably be my highest team drafted in this contest.
Oh, cool.
What was the other thing I was just going to ask about strategy? Oh, maybe it was someone was thinking of asking about this. What about going for value GM combos? I was going to say, with the pod dynamics and the smaller player pool, do you guys agree or think that ownership is going to condense in the pods even more so than it does in BBM?
I do. Because it's only one team advancing every single time. So like that's so much more of like a guy you need type of range of outcomes, as opposed to like if these were, if we drafted like let's just say hypothetically, after you draft a Bros Brawl, you pair with another lobby and then it's 2 out of 12 advance. Like at that point, maybe it's the same dynamic, just times 2. But like, I think just the fact that it is only one team advancing every time, you do lend yourself to concentration, at least when you are in the quarterfinals. Like there's probably going to be so much overlap. Like I would bet an insane amount of overlap based on who the league winners were.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call on this.
And that tracks to me too, like because you think about because like ADP is like such a not relevant predictor of like performance, and like once you're after pick 130 140 and people kind of like span out right in BBM, where it's like people, someone's taking Isaac Tesla here and someone's taking their Kyle Manung guy or whatever, but because you can draft exclusively good players and the opportunity cost feels a lot higher, you're probably going to see a lack of diversity at the back end of rosters anyways. And then you couple it with the 1 of 5 dynamic. We're probably, because in typical BBM, right? Like even the guys you had to have, they're generally like 30 to 40%. Like you could potentially see 60 to 70% the way this contest is structured.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point there, Pete, where you're doing your GM combos. Like for instance, I tweeted one out this morning that was, pretty rare because everybody pushes up the running backs in this format. And I got a Saquon, Genty, Henry, Tyreek Hill start. And the way I landed that plane was don't be afraid to miss with this. It was let me get 2 scroll the F down stacks associated with it, because I think this will exist a little bit more than people give credence to. And as Nez alluded to, that, if one of those top 3 running backs is the one that you need and condenses ownership in those pods, I want to be the one with the contrarian stuff tacked onto it. So to like bring it all the way back to the whose question was it with the GM? It was Go Cards.
Yeah.
Is there going to be like value in those like GM combos? I think when done uber intelligently, there's going to be even more added value in them. So like yeah, it's amazing if you can get in a room and like obtain what I obtained this morning, but it's even better when you do it like with the extra levers in the roster spot pulled, because people won't want to do that in like battle royales because you only have 6 spots to work with. Here it's fine to like just blast off like the last 4 or 5 spots, because let's be real, they're probably not scoring in those running back spots and those flex spots if everything goes right for a Saquon, Genty, and Henry team anyways.
Yep. And you think about like the GM combos ultimately are helping you advance out of the regular season, right? Like that's where it really comes in. And then to me, like the deck gets reshuffled. All the guys you need to have are going to be represented in that week 15 pod. Then it doesn't matter to me. Like I wouldn't be trying to like GM or like pull unique levers specifically for like finals purposes. We know how hard that is to actually control. But I do think like if you're able to stack a lot of good players, that's what the GM is. And it is more potent in this than it is in a battle royale, right? The 36 versus 108. If you're able to get 4 top 3 round players on a team, like that's still pretty valuable. So it's not like you should shy away from it, but I just don't know if it's necessarily helping the end game as much.
It is interesting too. I think like on top of it is like it's harder to quantify a GM in this because we don't have
right.
The ADP in a perfect world is different. And we would probably see higher running back concentration in the first round. So like it's easier obviously to quantify a GM in a standardized ADP because cool, the ADP values make sense, but like cool, you got a GM, but like your RB2 is Tony Pollard now, and like what do you do? It's tough. So yeah, I think I don't know if we have time for like this discussion, but would you guys agree that GTO is like running back early in this? Maybe that's too simple, but like, what would you? How I guess me personally, I would describe GTO as like running back early, like Brock Bowers. Like running back early and Brock Bowers is essentially how I would simplify GTO in my and like for me. But that doesn't mean I'm drafting everything like that. But I think that's like if you're flipping it, I think it's most likely outcome for GTO here.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do a balanced build through like the first like 6 rounds or something like that, I think like anchor wide receiver, 3 of those top 12 to 14 running backs, 1 elite quarterback, 1 elite tight end would be like that was
going to be my only thing too. Is like I think I would want like anchor wide receiver, but running back heavy, just because I'm like, even like once you get to like the lad and stuff thing, and it's like, man, you can start to make cases for 3rd, 4th round wide receivers. Whereas at least like the running backs you're betting on, like their workloads or whatever are a little more defined, I think, than those wide receivers. And it's like, is it going to shock anyone if like one of the Green Bay wide receivers outscores like a couple of the 3rd round wide receivers? Like it's not, but whereas like the running backs, I think you get into way more dicey territory down there. So it's like, yeah, give me one of Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Puka, Neighbors, even Nico, Amon-Ra, and then just like hammer running back. That's kind of how I would default, but I haven't done one yet. So I'm just thinking it through.
Oh, cool. Okay.
The room really dictates how you should draft, because if they play it to ADP, you can get some of those underpriced running backs like a little bit later, and sometimes you can slough off like 2 of the wide receivers and the premium tight end and then still get 3 running backs there. So like the room does really dictate what you do in a large way in this contest.
Yep. Yeah, and then how have you guys been handling, then circling back to the onesies? We talked about scroll onesies, but how have you guys been handling like the elite? So let's say top 3 tight ends and top, 4 quarterbacks.
I basically have none right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I do more often than not. I double tap elite QBs. I pair 2 of the top 4 and then just leave it at like, that's my favorite way to do it, but I don't do it every time, but that's my favorite. And then for tight end, it's Bowers or McBride. I've done both just because it's like fun because you can, but I don't think that that's like optimal, but I'll definitely do it. Sometimes
starve the beast a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And potentially, just like get 2 legendary weeks. I'm pretty much like full fading Kittle in this. I think he is rising in BBM because of the Ayuk stuff and the fact that there is a tier break between him and the others, the other tight ends there. But I don't think that he warrants a high pick in the Bad Bros Brawl necessarily. So I am, way off Kittle in here. But that's how I'm handling the onesies. It's like if I don't get Bowers or McBride, it's sort of like BBM coded for me. Like I think Kittle's too expensive in BBM right now too. It's very BBM for me. It's like Bowers or McBride. And I barely take Bowers or McBride in BBM, and here I do. And then if not, then I am just like waiting, and then I'm hitting like 3 late tight ends that I like, that either stack or that I just think have nice range of outcomes.
Don't mind it at all, man. I don't mind it at all. I'm vaulting Kittle up a little bit higher into that category, especially with what's going on with the wide receiver situation. So I wasn't scared of taking Kittle, but from a macro, I really like your approach there. We're very different on the quarterback side of the stuff. I do not have a single quarterback over 20% right now, and I've drafted 26 different quarterbacks in this contest thus far. 25 entries so far.
And you had how many?
26 different quarterbacks I've drafted.
Okay.
And none of them are the top 4?
The top 4, I currently have Josh Allen, 12%, Hurts, 12%. Okay. Jaden Daniels is 8% and 8% for Lamar. So basically only like 2 or 3 of like those.
Below the field.
Yeah.
The little news here too, as we talk about Kittle and stuff, Mookie referencing a bearish Ayuk report. Yeah, this does not sound good. From Schefter, GM John Lynch told reporters today that Brandon Ayuk currently is quote unquote not anywhere close to having a concrete timeline to return from the knee injury suffered last season. So if you were waiting for cheaper Ayuk, you are about to get it. Say hello to Christian Kirk prices for Brandon Ayuk here shortly, I think would be my quick snap take on what this is going to do in the market.
I haven't.
Let me play market analyst here and set a price target here. So Kirk is one. I was going to say, I 120, 130. And even then, geez.
God damn it. This is the slot demon. I owe it.
Nice.
How could I not have pulled that one out?
Nice. I can't believe we didn't catch you on that. You were just kind of like enjoying the conversation.
Yep.
Nice.
They got you, man.
They did get you. Well done.
But yeah, I think, because Burden goes 115. It's like, how can give me Burden over Ayuk? Like I love Burden. So maybe that's not the safe one. Maybe you're saying like Shaheed or Brandon Ayuk or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
Kirk's a really good line in the sand, because after Kirk, it's like Mims, who like Mims has question marks. Hollywood Brown, people don't see a ceiling, and then maybe Kyle Williams starts shooting up. But after that, I think that's a pretty good resistance at like wide receiver 58.
Yeah. He is an extremely tough click right now. And also as part of that too, I just saw when I was on the timeline, Juwan Jennings hasn't requested a trade. So nice to know that things are staying good for the Juwan Jennings bros. All right. Should we do one?
Yes.
Let's get your first in. Let's go.
All right.
I'm checking my exposures right now because I haven't checked them in a long time. So I'm marked safe from Brandon Ayuk. So that's a good start on a personal level.
Yeah. So we got the one. Now I want to see what,
I know. I want to see what you got, because you draft with a lot of different people. Let's see how many risk takers you're with.
6.1%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can live with that.
And
I'm at 4, but I mean, how much of that is in the little Dalmatian? It looks like none. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we got the 1.5 here. So you guys were saying that because the ADPs are the same and not unique for this contest, that what the room does, or like if they're going for onesies or whatever, like it can be very variable from room to room.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's times where I'm like, holy shit. Like I'm getting Jonathan Taylor, like RB4 if I want it. And then I realize I need to adjust. Usually that's like later at night. But when you're with people like this, like I think you're about to see just a ton of green. at the beginning. But those early wide receivers, I think, obviously,
yes,
makes sense too. But
all right, let's lock in here. We pick at 5 and 8.
These go fast, by the way. We have like no time for content and talking.
Okay. Do you guys want to grab CD here?
Yeah, and then hope one of the running backs come back to you, or vice versa, whichever you prefer.
Let's do anchor CD. Or what do you want to do? Gibbs? Go ahead. No, I like Gibbs more.
Yeah, let's do Gibbs. I was just kind of playing the 2v2s there, and because of these two running backs, I think there is a tier there. Whereas, like, if we get CMC comes back, or we get one of CD or Puka, I think I like that better.
Puka is a stark tier break in everybody's mind, basically, in this contest.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then basically after Puka, these kind of next grouping mixes and matches, and people start taking Henry and Genty and Achan.
So what do you guys like better? I'm going to guess. So it would have been like CD and what? Would we have gone like Genty? So yeah, CD and Genty versus Gibbs and Puka. Like, I think that's definitely the way to play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll take Gibbs, the Gibbs side of that all day.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah. And is this respooked out of the 6 hole?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. So yeah, I was going to take both there.
Yeah, it's my favorite start right now on the right hand side of the board.
All right. You are right. We are not going to have a lot of time here. Talk to me. You guys like JT?
I like JT and then one of the running backs, or I mean one of the wide receivers on the way back. You can stay pretty balanced.
I'm trying to think through other like quirks of this. I'm trying to think, are buys, is it the same as Best Ball Mania as far as bye weeks, as far as importance or lack thereof?
I think so.
Yeah.
So McBride does go there. London or AJB here?
Yeah, John, do you have a preference?
No, you choose.
Let's go AJ Brown.
Yeah, let's get the grown man. Wow, Inez, you're a London guy though, too.
I know, but I'm definitely coming around to like the regression and health to AJ Brown's side, and like him just absolutely sunning the league if that's the case. I mean, dude, what was the stat that we talked about when AJ Brown came back in 14 games? Like, he came back 14 games to finish the season. Jalen Hurts completed like 50 something passes when they were trailing. Like, that's it. Like, this team just like didn't have to pass. It hardly had to try. So like, if the defense gets worse and they need to pass more and AJ Brown stays healthy, like, God, man, he could smash. He was so insanely efficient last year. I'm just like, I'm taking my medicine there. Like, I love London, but man, AJ Brown has shown it. AJ Brown's shown it.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago, before when, pre-Saquon era, where he rattled off those 7 straight games of 100 plus, right?
Yeah.
When they were forced to throw.
See, I will say at this point, this is where I my gut reaction doing this draft for the first time, where I start to be like, man, I kind of like the elite quarterback relative to these 3rd round wide receivers.
I take Kittle
I
here,
like,
but yeah.
Well, Art, the guy behind us. Oh, do you think he would double tap that?
Probably not.
I guess, yeah, there is a pretty big tier gap from Kittle to Laporta. Or do you not think so, Nez?
No, I do think so. It's just that, like, I like cobbling together tight ends whenever I'm at that point, and doing, like you said, like going with an elite QB and or like another running back there. But like, you really kind of just have to like tap the running back button just to make sure what you're missing.
Do you want to do Hurts with AJB because he just double tapped Allen and Daniels?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing. I mean, you mentioned the double tap of like Bowers, McBride and stuff, but I guess that's the one thing that strikes me as a little like, there's already an opportunity cost to taking a single elite onesie, much less double tapping it. Doesn't feel great to me in this contest.
The counter to that is the tier of wide receivers is so flat that if you've already addressed running back and tight end, you can kind of get away with it. Mm-hmm. There's honestly no wrong way to build unless you just like piss 7 early. But even 7 early is kind of like you give yourself contrarian stacking outs if you do it intelligently with the quarterbacks. and you can play 4s at the onesies or 3s at the onesies, and then you get all the contingent running backs. So, you can make a case.
Evans is interesting here. So is Worthy, and then maybe look at running back.
Yep. Cook, Walker, Chuba, Kamara.
Evans.
I think. Yeah, let's do Evans first. Raspook needs some wide receivers. I would be good with Cook or Ken Walker here, or just doubling up on grabbing Worthy if he comes back.
Yeah, all three of those options I'd be fine with. Evans feels pretty good, just in like all around. Early production, good offense.
Yeah, Worthy goes. Do you like Cook nice. Or Walker here?
James Cook for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good with that.
So here, the picks are flying fast and furious, but for our audio listeners, we got Hurts stacked up with AJB. We got Gibbs, JT, and James Cook at running back, and then Puka and Evans along with AJB, and then Kittle at tight end. So a very balanced build so far.
Wow, it never gets old seeing these starts.
The super teams.
Man, I love this contest. It's not just because we created it. I fucking love this contest. I think if I could go back in time, I might make it 30-second clocks instead of 20s. Because
it's so quick.
Just so you can multi-table them. I can't multi-table the 20s. I find it really hard. I lose track of like what team I'm doing and stuff. And I think that might hurt fill rates a little bit because I would be drafting 2 or 3 at a time if they were the 30 seconds like the dailies. So I think maybe next year or next
for sure.
What do you guys like here? Like a DJ Moore, stack up Devontae Smith, George Pickens.
I like Trayvon Henderson. Okay.
Go for it. I like Henderson too. I'm never going to say no if you suggest a running back.
Let's do Devontae first. Do the double, I guess. Someone was asking about perfect contest for Rashee Rice, and I think we could extend that to any of the. I like that thought, right? Of you want to be, if you're selecting an injured or suspended type player, and you guys want to take Trevion here, you really want them to have top 30, top 40 upside, right? Because it's just like you're competing against so many good players. So like they have to have that elite ceiling. How much of a discount for Rashee Rice do you need, to make that worth it?
Yeah, like I said, for me, like round 11 is whenever I feel comfortable taking him. And that's basically where he goes for everybody else too. But
it does with how backloaded things are in the week 17 element for this and the smaller pods. Like I do think it's easier to get away with that 0. And then have an additional hammer coming in. Like if you're able to get even 5th round in this contest, 5th round, top 30 pick production from Rice, your 11th round pick, like that is a nice way to supercharge a team.
It's so much more powerful here than in BBM because like the risk is so much less. And then you're actually like putting together a sick team. I kind of like Rice here.
Yeah. After talking it through, I mean, at pick 65, I think that's a good spot.
Yep. Anything north of 60 is probably fine. I have him ranked my stopgap Ridley, Pickens, Waddle, then Rice.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do here? We could do Mahomes with Rashee.
I prefer not. I like Hunter just because we can like get some crazy upside, or running back, whatever is there at running back.
Pacheco, Pollard.
Yeah, like John said, Pollard, and I think Aaron Jones. Maybe if Brian Robinson has like the Jamal Williams season, but you don't need to like take those guys over while we're still filling out other roster spots. I don't think it's necessary.
And this is where, like, when you get to these guys, right? Like, if these are if Pacheco's 75% or 85% rostered, like, then to me, I'm like looking at ETN, the JK Dot, like these other guys who I think could have similar production at a fraction of the ownership.
Exactly. Yeah. Pacheco's like a do not draft for me in this.
Someone in the chat, named Nami 2. You got any info on Win Puppy 3? Sorry, brother. I do not. You'll have to take that up with the Draft Games team. I don't get any inside info around here.
Interesting.
All right. Let's see here. Scrolling at quarterback and tight end. Grab a guy like Olave.
Baker with Evans after.
Grab Baker.
You don't have to. Well, he's got 2 quarterbacks, but it's fine. But yeah, I'd do Baker, and then it gives us a tight end scroll as well. And then I
got to draw the line somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Cade Otton is not draftable in this contest. I got to get out there and say it.
Get ready to learn ball, bro.
Pete, don't you want those 9 points that are including a touchdown? Don't you want those 9 points, dude?
Do you want to do?
I like taking
Pollard.
Jaden. Sure, go for Pollard.
I beat you to the punch. I said
Pollard
my
feels
take
like
first.
A little bit last of a tier of like true kind of like bell cow proven upside without getting into like a super muddied situation.
Yeah, I think
he has a mystery box. Oh, sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, just him and Aaron Jones are like kind of like my mental tier, and then I get scrolly with like who we can find contingent upside with.
Because I think both those guys have kind of mystery box upside as far as like what their offenses are going to look like with, JJ McCarthy essentially a rookie and Cam Ward a rookie. Like they could easily like smash expectations offensively if, like that's just the way that these projections are with rookies. Obviously it's just a wide band and you like that upside just doesn't really exist with too many other players at that range.
We're back on the clock here. Probably good at running back for a second. Olave, a big faller here.
I like the Olave call.
Yeah. I mean, Olave at pick 89. I still think he has some good single week upside.
Yeah. Wide receiver 1 on a team, another wide range of outcomes at like in round 15 in a contest. I think that's a pretty nice upside swing. John, you want to give us a scroll here?
I was going to say too, or do you want to play like the weekly winners angle of Brock to Kittle with the pod stuff like those guys?
Yeah, I'm good.
I like the weekly winners angle. I was going to make that
at tight end. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I take a weekly winners kind of point of view on this contest essentially, where like I push up Pickens and JMO just because I think their single week upsides are like just some of the best. And like I'll be able to have pieces around them that can kind of help weather that storm if it is up, topsy-turvy for them in the season. So I like the stack.
Multiple people have asked this. The GM that is the it's what you caption your post in Discord or on Twitter when you screenshot a team that has some really sick ADP values. Probably something someone would not be able to hop in the lobby and immediately recreate themselves. FAQ.
Indeed.
It's a good sign, man.
Are we going to tell him the bad news about Olave with these single week ceilings we keep talking about? Oh, let's make these picks. Tight end for sure. I like Kraft. I think Kraft is like a tier break unless you guys want to get crazy.
No,
I like Kraft.
I like Kraft too. I was going to say like likely is another like really nice spike week type option.
Would you go 6 onesies in the Bros Brawl? I don't hate it, but
I haven't thought it through. What about you guys?
Yeah, I like it. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I think my favorite build is 3-5-7-3.
Or is this a bad click, John? Do you got a more inspired scroll? I'll do Cade if you want Cade, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I would take Cade, but likely as the contingent upside, and you don't have a Lamar team, so that's probably sharper.
I guess my only concern would be is like likely the bad chalk, like is likely coming in at 80% ownership there.
You definitely see him get drafted and pulled up quite a bit in this contest.
Oh, okay.
Like I would have done to close this one instead of taking the Purdy shot there when we don't have CMC or a wide receiver, I would have ended with T-Law Strange to go to the Travis Hunter.
Or even Love with Kraft.
Yeah, but usually when I do Love, I want to have one of the pass catchers.
Yeah. So here's how this team ended up: the 3-5-7-3. Like I said, if you guys are joining in late, only 108 players drafted in this one because it's a 6-person contest, but still 18 rounds. Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Trevion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Puka Nacua, AJ Brown, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter, Chris Olave. My heart just skipped, and I was like, do I have the slot demon on this team? And I need to remember. George Kittle, Tucker Kraft, Isaiah Likely. John already kind of mentioned some things he might have done differently. Nez, what do you think about this build?
Yeah, I think the Purdy selection, I would maybe sub out in a perfect world, but we're on stream under the clock, so like I don't hate it. It was a good pick, like in the grand scheme, but ideally, I think I turn that into a scroll QB and then stack that scroll QB to finish the draft. But otherwise, it's hard not to love these teams.
Yeah. Here, some good thoughts from Easy too about the tight end dilemma. Depends on your goals of tight end 3. Likely has outs where he's a full year smash and ends up as like a chalk guy you need. Whereas Otten is more that sneakier source of 18 points in week 17 unowned, where it's like the elite tight ends flop. You get the one correlated tight end piece that goes for 15 plus, and then you're cooking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe, I'm trying to think that through of like, if you do have an elite at the top, are you more inclined to want the former or the latter with those?
On a 3 tight end, I think you want the spike guy, like the isolated weak guy.
Yeah.
But if you were just going to take 2, like doing Likely and Kittle and leaving Kraft off of it and then getting another contingent running back, smash.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. How long have these been? How long did that take us right there? Is that like, how long are these? Like 15 minutes?
15 minutes max. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do fun. One more, and we'll maybe try to get a little more creative with our scrolls in this one here.
Yeah, it was 15
Pete,
minutes.
We got to tell you the bad news about Chris Olave. He has never scored greater than 20 underdog half PPR points in a game.
Oh no. Oh no.
Never, Pete.
Never.
Has Chris Olave ever gone at pick 88 in an underdog draft? And do I need him to score 20 points at pick 88? I don't think he has ever gone at pick 88 in an underdog draft. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I'm laughing at Bonner Bryan asking us to sauce his team. We're in a Badge Bros Brawl. How do you sauce a team that only has good players on it? Like sauce me, bro. I'm begging for it. Tell me how. Give me the sauce.
It's the nerdiest sauce. Like it literally, John was like gently saucing our team, and he's like, I likely is going to have an 80% ownership rate, and I think you should scroll down to the 15% ownership guy who projects for 3.5 less points per game than the tight end you did take. It's like boom, roasted. Motherfucker.
Oh my god. He wants it so bad. All right, Brian.
I will tell you this: if you ever want a shot at having your team roasted, you got to become a Badge Bros YouTube member first. There.
Right.
Let's do Justin Jefferson play the hero wide receiver angle from this spot.
Running back.
Sure.
All right, Nez, let's see how the hero wide receiver looks.
I like doing. I mean, I much prefer the right hand side of the board just because of the combos you can put up, and I do think that's kind of reflected in some of the data that we've been looking at for like the BR stuff. But I do really like the idea of flipping the front end of these with like Gibbs or Lamb and just seeing what it looks like from a combo standpoint. And like I do really like the Dak out because like Dak's pretty close to 100% drafted, but not, and he's always there in like round 15, 16. So like I do really like the Dak stackability with CD, and maybe that's more of like a player take for me than the Justin Jefferson stuff.
I love getting a Cowboy because Dak is like, he's like a 16th round pick. Like, yeah, he's close to 100% drafted, but it's just like free, like just those last 3 rounds, you just kind of like take the easiest path of least resistance.
Yep.
Something we experimented with on stream was punting both the onesies till the last 8 picks and going 5-5 to start, Pete, and then going all scrolly F down onesies, basically. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's go HN.
Lock up HN here.
Yeah.
One of the examples of just like reading the room and seeing like, how quickly, like if this person double taps 2 running backs and then you're down to the Josh Jacobs tier, then it starts to feel real gross.
Well, sometimes you end up with like Jonathan Taylor as your RB3, and other times you end up with him as your RB1 based on what the room does.
Let's go Bowers.
Yeah, I'm good with Bowers. Bowers or Amon-Ra would be cool.
Yeah, I'm good with Bowers. I wasn't sure if we were going to do the Uber scroll that you had mentioned at the onesies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could. Not anymore. But yeah, it would have been fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out if 4-5-5-4 is optimal. Only time will tell. But who could possibly say?
That's right.
I shout out to K-Bash in the Discord there, and really good player on the site, built rankings for this based on some of the easy sheet stuff and some of the S words that he runs, and he shared them with me. And you'll be happy to know when he did his VORP calculations there, Nez, 5 of the first 6 picks are running backs. And then Brock Bowers is like pick 8.
Yeah. Tyreek here seems good. I also like Chase Brown. What do you guys think?
I like Tyreek.
Likewise. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just
Tyreek
like chasing single week upside. Yeah. Chasing the single week upside in this contest is I think is the move.
Agreed. Yeah, it is funny how like in my head, or let's make this pick. I do like Chase Brown.
I do like Chase Brown.
All right, let's do it. This contest to me in my head, it's like a mix of a weekly BR, weekly winners, and BBM. Like those are the 3 like reference points that I'm trying to mash up as I like think through.
Yeah, if you could like kind of map it in your head, like where you're borrowing these ideas from and how large the idea bubble is as far as the what you're borrowing from. I don't know.
So we start Jefferson, controversial selection by me, Devon Achane, Brock Bowers in the 3rd, Tyreek Hill, Chase Brown. And then we see 3 elite quarterbacks go off the board in the 5th, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, there's you see that a lot with the 3 elite going, and then Hurts kind of lingers for who wants to stack, and usually it's the AJ Brown drafter, and then people play rope-a-dope with Burrow between the T drafter and Chase. I would take Kyron here. Yeah, I would take Kyron just relative to like the positional scarcity, I guess, element compared to the other ones. Like, I'm happy with any of those wide receivers. I do think Adams is a slight tier above that, but I do think Kyron's a considerable tier above the following.
Yeah, so
I do like Devontae.
Yeah, and this would be like the ping-ponging that I like the idea. Kyron, Devontae, the super concentrated offenses. Nez, you mentioned doing it with the Eagles. Love that too.
You're gonna love my portfolio then, Pete, because Achane and Waddle are my 2 highest exposed ping-pongers.
That's a good one. I like that.
Their quarterback doesn't get drafted. It matters.
Maybe he will this time.
It's not going to surprise me that the guy who was floating Cade Otton is interested in Matthew Stafford here as well. I mean, all jokes aside, I think. No, well, it's like it's not the undrafted portion. It's just like, do they actually have the spike in them?
Nez likes JMO.
Kind of wiped.
I do like JMO. I didn't see him there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you, John. Need to make my screen full screen.
Nez,
again.
did you had a viral tweet referencing Jameson Williams?
I did. Your boy went a little viral. Yeah. I would go Pickens.
That's who I was about to hover to here. I don't like the running backs, but
so I'm like the definitive investigator on Jameson Williams' IG stories. And
please use your proper job title. You are the Instalytics officer.
Yeah, I am chief
You're
CIO,
Instalytics.
chief Instalytics officer. And yeah, and JMO posted this story of these like Pee-wee kids playing football, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, oh wow, this kid's really fast. Oh, he's burning everybody. Oh, he's doing the Jameson Williams hump the end zone celebration. And the coaches are hyping him up. The coaches are telling him to do that shit. Do that
How
shit.
old is he? How old is he?
8. Like, dude, he's a little kid. He is a little boy. And yeah, it was, and yeah, people really thought that was funny. So
it was like an old Key and Peele sketch for sure.
Yes. And typically I'll post those to the Discord. Like whenever I see a funny James, I post that one, went straight to the timeline.
Nice. James Conner strikes me as pretty solid.
Yeah.
We could do the tight end stuff is kind of wiped again.
Let's do Conner.
Yeah.
I've found myself being a little more Henderson pilled in this contest because I feel that my room is so strong every time with the first 3 that I try and take that like most palatable ceiling shot. So I've been doing like a lot of him in this contest. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but yeah.
I like Henderson a lot in this contest. I'm with you.
Yeah. What do you guys want to do here? We could do
I'm gonna throw out Rome for you guys.
Okay.
I mean, normally I'm throwing him out of my player pool.
Yeah,
so
same.
Throw it out into the conversation. We can do Rome.
He does open up a nice, interesting back stack too when you put Loveland in with it, and yeah,
that's my thinking.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to like flesh out another.
Yeah, sorry.
Thing maybe it might not have. No. No, we needed to make that pick. I'm trying to think through of another idea of, and I think I saw Herzig tweet about this once about like in BBM, like the naked quarterbacks or not naked, but like the mobile quarterbacks versus the pocket passers. And one of the reasons the pocket passers are so helpful is you're generally stacking them, which means you have to get less things right, which is a benefit. But I'm wondering if in this, like having a mobile quarterback in here for certain parts of this structure, specifically the 1 of 5s, is like a really nice balancing act in that like you actually don't need a ton of variance with stacking in week 15 and week 16 in this format, and having like a high floor rushing guy. I'm like just thinking of Fields right now at the top, how like having that as part of a QB room seems like kind of attractive to me in that regard.
Yep. We should probably start looking at quarterbacks. We don't have one yet. Our draft is coming to a close very quickly here. I think he represents an option for us. Like, I don't really care about like leapfrogging him and selecting him on this team if he makes it. But
that's where I was kind of going. Whereas if you did Fields and then you skinny stacked any of the other pass catchers with their kind of scroll down quarterbacks.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, I would do Fields, and then I would get crazy with it. Like Hawk just went, right? So we lost that one.
Yeah, we did.
Like I don't hate like doing like Jacoby Myers and then Geno with our last pick. I don't hate doing Addison and then taking like JJ McCarthy for a double. I don't hate doing Tua. I don't hate doing Stafford, although Stafford's weekly ceiling does leave something to be desired. Yeah, and then I also like the Caleb double one too. If you take Caleb first and then take Loveland next, and you're just fine with it. If you don't get Loveland, yeah.
Caleb goes.
Okay.
I don't mind the Addison angle. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Addison seems good, or Jennings, considering the Ayuk stuff.
Whichever.
So I would say Jennings, and the reason I say this because, like, I think.
Oh, I did. I shuffled it like 4 times.
Both have.
We were discussing.
That's all right. Addison obviously has a crazy high ceiling. I'm just thinking about like the 2 quarterbacks on this team that, like, at least I would prefer. I think would be Tua and we lost Caleb, so Tua and Dak. I think at this point, and then we can add like a scroll the F down Ferguson.
I like that. Dak strikes me as a very good selection in this contest, especially if there's ways to do it, just not always skinnied with CD, which I assume is going to be the dominant way he's done. I also like Addison too, in that like last year we saw a lot of the Addison and Jefferson monster games were correlated. It was like when that offense was cooking, they were both getting home. Kind of like, I guess, yeah.
Well, maybe not Tua since we only have Tyreek. It doesn't necessarily make a necessity. I kind of like John's Vegas idea. Like that's crazy, but like
I think it's too late for the Vegas idea because we already have 7 wide receivers. I think you do the Minnesota. We made our bet on Minnesota now with the 2 pass catchers.
Okay, so that's cool.
I think you do Dak for like security and safety, and then you do Ferg with him, and then you take JJ.
What do you guys think of? Someone wants Sauce. How about we got the 0680 build going from D Rosa. So they're going to try the but they're not even gonna be able to go triple onesie. Like they're running out of picks.
2682. Okay.
Should I just grab McCarthy here?
Yeah,
unless you want to prioritize Ferg.
I feel like we'll be okay.
Okay, I think we'll be okay, and I won't lose sleep tonight if we don't get Ferguson.
Yeah, wow, that's a hell of a way to do a 2682. If that is in fact where he's going, maybe he's going single onesie.
Drake May. No. He's got the leg up
flex seal
for the Badge Bros Brawl.
Flex seal.
That was great. Yeah. Except he can't resist and tacks on Pop Douglas here.
Pops it right back open. No pun intended.
I did do a Hunter Henry one with Drake May.
Like okay, you take that.
You take the last 3 picks. You can take Drake, Diggs, and Henry. I love like the contrarian skinny stacks that are, kind of smart at the end.
Yeah.
How do you guys land this plane? I know how I would land it. You got 3 picks left. How you landing it?
We definitely should. One running back, 1 tight end, and 1 more or 2 more tight ends, or 1 more tight end. Sorry, after we take Ferg, or would you go 2 tight ends here?
I think I go 2 tight ends, considering we have Bowers.
Did you guys see no one draft Spears? Can I toss out Spears as a scroll down RB I like?
Yeah,
sure, go for it.
I assume you guys are in agreement for at least 1 more running back.
Yes,
I think so. Yeah,
like I
like Spears.
3.
Oh, you would take a 3rd tight end?
Yeah.
With Bowers and Ferg.
Someone?
Let me guess. It's so easy to get inside of the mind of John. You want Mason Taylor on this team.
It's like there's a window just right here. You can just see exactly what he's thinking.
The only reason John was on board with Justin Fields was because he knew it was a path to taking a tight end with an ADP of 184. I don't hate it.
Lazard, bro. What do you like, Nez?
I think I would go contingency running back.
Okay. Devontae Williams doesn't really get drafted, and he's part of our stack too. If you want to like uber stack Dallas.
Yeah.
You could also play Braylon if you really wanted to get with a guy like the ping pong in on the Jets. Brees gets hurt. Braylon show.
Sure. I love just like any like handcuff that we deem to be clean, and that's a fun one. I do a lot of Garendo. I think that's maybe like the chalk. Like if anybody's doing that, like the chalk handcuffs are like Garendo, Benson type of players. Like I take a lot of those guys, but because I just can't like resist.
Yeah,
Rashad White turns into a double stack for a lot of people too.
Yeah, man, you guys got to work on this. I don't know if this is a troll or if just that's the 3rd. A GM combo here?
That's how small fries we are, bro. That's how.
We're growing, man. That's a good sign when people want to know what GM means. That means we got some new blood.
We got our own fucking contest in the lobby for $500,000 and nobody knows what a GM is. We're small fries, Petey. We're not your best ball breakfast crowd, man. We're the appetizer in the evenings at happy hour.
All right, here's the team. It's in the books. Took a little different angle here. 7-2. Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, and McCarthy. Achane, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, James Conner, Tajay Spears, Braylon Allen, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Jameson Williams, George Pickens, Rome Odunze, Jordan Addison, and then Brock Bowers and Jake Ferguson. Thoughts on this one?
I think I like this one more than the last one. At least it just feels like I do. I'd have to like compare them side by side to make a full definitive take on that. I still think that running back at pick 2 is the move, but I like the way that we built this team around like McCarthy being him and getting a double on that. And I love taking contingency running backs in the bad Bros Brawl. So yeah, I like this team.
Yeah, I like all those takes there, Nez. I do like structurally intelligent by doing the Bowers stuff feels good. Doing anchor wide receiver once you do take that wide receiver and then prioritizing some of those running backs right after makes a lot of sense to me. I think my optimal building construction looks kind of similar to this. I am in lockstep with Nez about prioritizing the running backs, but my optimal builds kind of look similar to this, where it's like you got some high contingent, you got some contrarian quarterbacks, and you got some contrarian ways of stacking said quarterbacks. So fun draft. I think this was, the first one was kind of like getting our feet wet, playing the chalk, playing the hits, and this was more like, okay, we understand the format. We're starting to cook a little bit.
Yeah. No, and like you guys said, I mean, it's just there's so many different strategies you can take, even if you knew that ADP was fixed and that every player was going to take the exact top ADP and you got to maneuver. Like even then there'd be all these different strategies, but then you combine in the ADP actually not being reflective of necessarily what happens. And then that creates another choose your own adventure, very fun contest to think through. I think I almost have to be like a desktop guy for this one too. Just like stuff is happening so fast. It's kind of nice to be able to like get the queue going and really monitor the draft board.
Agreed.
Very fun stuff, guys. Badge Bros Brawl. In addition to the $100,000 top prize, John said he is going to fly out the winner to Vancouver and host them for a week-long celebration of smelling the roses and touching the grass. Is that true, John?
That is directionally accurate. I will be you'll be sleeping on my couch, and we'll be driving a Toyota Corolla around town, and we won't do anything fun. But if you're up for it, you're welcome. You're welcome to join. But yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll spice it up a little bit. What should I? Let me think on it first. I'll add something to this for the winner.
Oh,
okay. Well, there you go. There
Love
you go.
Fun.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Someone in the chat earlier was asking about baseball for the Membies. Is that happening today?
For the Membies only in about 5 minutes time here.
Beautiful.
Yes, I'll be doing baseball pick'ems and strategy breakdown, that sort of thing. People have been asking in the chat also, what's the Badge Bros? What's Badge Bros Brawl? All this sort of stuff. We stream Underdog-based content, myself and Nez Takes up in the top right there, every single day, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we even have shows that go live on the weekend there in tandem with the Solver series. Very fun one. If you guys haven't checked that one out yet, Nez breaks down his auto drafting strategy for the Dalmatian and for the mini Schnauzer. We'll talk about the Puppy 2-1 in the future there. So yeah, baseball after this, and then more football and baseball tomorrow on the program at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Beautiful. Yep. And it's just crazy. Like looking at the calendar and thinking that in like 6 weeks, we're going to be talking about a week 1 NFL daily slate. And it's wild. But we got 6 more weeks or so of nonstop best ball drafting. We do this show every Tuesday here, often on the clock, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are watching on my channel, make sure you guys are subscribed to the Badge Bros and vice versa on the Pete Overzet YouTube channel. I'll be back tomorrow for the randomizer in Best Ball Bash. We'll see who the Best Ball Bash guest is. And then we got a randomizer with a guy I know you guys have streamed with, PPR Tyler. He's a young, plucky, energetic best ball streamer who's about to be humbled by a randomizer wheel. Everybody's gunning for him with these prompts. It is so funny how this works. It's like I could have named the biggest person you could even think of in sports on the show, and I would get more suggestions for someone like PPR Tyler, where it's like people just they know him, they want to run him through the ringer. Like I could have Schefter on, and I would get more responses for PPR Tyler, and that's what I love about the randomizer.
It is great, man. I can't wait. I was so stoked whenever I heard you announce that. I immediately DM'd him and told him that I'm about to make his life hell. So I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be a very good time. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys next time on Off and On the Clock. Peace.